I never thought in my life that psychiatric nurses make a lot of money. I never thought this before, but psychiatric nurses even get a lot of money like this. Psychiatric nurses are on most highly paid nursing jobs, or literally what they call professions or careers. 2020 and 2021 will shock you. And when I talk about nursing and of course people in the health centers, I literally always do these videos to just enlighten people who are soon joining the nursing sector and of course the circles, to just show you literally the image of what everything that happens behind closed doors that you don't see. So there are a lot of course in nursing there are a lot of different sectors and different specializations that you can specialize in for you to make money, of course, as you progress throughout life. As you progress through life, of course, that's when you have went to a nursing school or a nursing college, and of course you have had your certificate that's enrolled nursing, and for the diplomas you have had your diploma for students, of course, with HSC and of course all that. By the way, if you're new to this particular kind of glam, please consider subscribing, give the video a thumbs up and comment something in the comment section below. So literally I want to just take you immediately through the first highly paid. I'm talking about the most highly paid nurse 2020-2021. Those are called the certified registered nurse practitioners. I literally will just forgive me because basically I've just wrote down everything because I want to just know, I don't want to just miss any point. These are the nurses that earn a lot of money, and of course these are topping the list each year. Registered nurse, and I think also this is in Uganda, which I hope to do very soon a video about the nursing payments in Uganda. I'm hoping to do that video, I think today or tomorrow, I'm not very sure, but very soon I'm going to be doing a video about that. And the gist of that is that these guys here, they scoop a lot of money. When I tell you that they scoop a lot of money, I'm meaning a lot of money. According to the USA Bureau of Statistics, they give them a percentage of around each hour they are working. It's about $78.86. Just imagine each hour they work. And keep in mind that this is not the only money they are working. Some of them work for around 8 hours, some of them work for around 6 hours, some of them work for even less than that. But that's the total amount of money they are working for every hour. And the total salary for each year annually, it's around 164,000. Yes, that's very right. 164,000, and of course some drop something like 30, something like that. These are topping the list with making a lot of that money, around $164,000. That's a lot of money. When I just put into the Ugandan currency, I think that would be a little bit extra. Let me just get a calculator. So in the Ugandan currency, this is the amount of money that those people will get. In Ugandan currency, it's around 283,000 each hour they are working. And let me just calculate the total amount of money in Ugandan currency they are making each year. 030. This is the total amount of money they are making each year. It's about 590 million 58 something, like, even I don't, I'll just write it within the video because literally it also confuses my mind. But those are hitting the list. Registered nurses are making a lot of money each year, and of course they are coming. Of course, literally what I've not talked about, I think, is the specialization, of course, within the within the registered nurses. Registered nurses, of course, are of different calibers, but literally what I've left out, the total amount of money I've just give you, is for the nurses of anesthesia. Anesthesia just means, of course, management of pain, and of course stabilization of a person, of course, who's going through, or who is post-operative, or literally pre-operative, something like that. So that's their main aim, or their main goal, of course, to main into the medical circles. They just do anesthesia, and of course it brings them a lot. Next pair, or the most important, or the next people hitting the list, are the general nurse practitioner, or the GNPs. These are nurses, of course, that are care providers. These are bedside nurses, and of course this sells very much in the Western countries, where literally a sick person might have his or her own bedside nurse, who of course takes care of him, and of course the needs, and of course all that. Those are hitting that second list. And of course literally I'm going to be putting for you, of course, a part here, of course, to show you just how much those make, but they also make a pretty a good amount of money. They make a little bit of an amount of money that's very, very good. And of course, that's around 8,000, 89,000 Uganda, 80,000, 80,000, 90. These make around 89,000 US dollars. And of course, for this, you also have to go back to school, have a bachelor's, of course, in the circles. The circles are meaning the nursing itself. And of course, initially, also the payments may match according to the location, to the person you are your client, of course. For example, in when you talk about people who are going to be employing you, the government, it might be the government, or it might be, of course, just private. All that money varies. Money from the private sector is always a little bit much, and of course also here in Uganda, when you look at Mulago and Luvaga, and when you look at those government hospitals, always the money they give there, it's a little bit less than the money they give in international hospitals such as KIU, Kampala International. It's a little bit decent amount of money compared to that. I promise that I'll be making a video very, very soon about the payment of the Ugandan nurses, and of course the midwives, and of course all those who are in the health circles. But we look at the location. They also look at the person who's going to be employing you, and of course the cost of living. It's also very important before they pay you, especially the general nurse practitioners. And of course, I've explained that these, for example, for them, they specialize in bedside care for the person, or for a particular organization, or for children, young children, something like that. And I think they also make a pretty some amount of money. But keep in mind that all these, for example, in the Western countries, these people, of course, have to hold bachelors. Bachelors are meaning a degree, not only a certificate, but also a bachelor's, meaning that you have to be in every time be upgrading, and of course upgrading in order to reach that distance. Of course, the next nurses hitting the list, they are the gerontological, if that's right, gerontological. Let me just see if that's the spelling. It's gerontological, yeah, gerontological nurses. These are nurses, of course, that deals in provision of health care, and of course health support, of course, and of course all the other support that we offer as nurses to adults or elderly people. These are also making a pretty much good amount of money, and of course this coming the third position of the most paid nursing career worldwide. They also make a little bit of a pretty some amount of money. When you look at, of course, other factors, of course, the person you are, the client you are working with, the employers, I think that's the client, and of course when you also look at the cost of living, and of course all that, he or she, the nurse, of course, working in that particular kind of field, he really makes a pretty some amount of money. And of course for this one in particular, it's about usually these also make a pretty some amount of money according to what I've told you. These also, according to the research I did, they are in the same category as the CNRAs. Those are the general nurses of anesthesia. They're also in the same range. The variation is not that very, very big, but the variation is almost the same. They also make almost the same amount of money, and it's about $78.86 per an hour. And of course annually it also ranges in about ranges in around 164,000. It also ranges in that amount, 164,000. That's their total kind of price. Also not price, but their salary, of course, they make annually. Like annually, that's the total amount of money they make. They also make a little bit of good money that in Uganda we don't make, if that's right to say, which in Uganda we don't make, because that's the right fact that I have to talk about. In Uganda we don't make that much, and I'm literally looking forward to do a very short video or even a long video, literally to explain to you guys how the funding and of course the salaries are in my country and Uganda, and of course in Africa. I never thought in my life that psychiatric nurses make a lot of money. I never thought this before, but psychiatric nurses even get a lot of money like this. Psychiatric nurses are on free. You guys, like, you have to try out psychiatric nursing. You have to try out psychiatric nursing, because if they make this amount of money, like, it just blows. Literally, the next kind of profession where a lot of money is made is psychiatric nursing. These are guys that make a lot of money, and of course, I usually understand that their field, they are very few. And of course, when you look at psychiatric units, even in my country, Uganda, the psychiatric units are very, 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 very few. Psychiatric units are also very, very amazingly very few, and that's why I think they are making this decent amount of money. They make around. So these psychiatric nurses also make a little bit of money. They make around, each hour they are working, they are making around $46, and of course $46, and annually they are making around almost $10,000 like annually each year. And I think they're even far better than enrolled nurses. Yes, they are far better than enrolled nurses, because literally when I look at the statistics of my country, Uganda, and how the enrolled nurses are paid in private hospitals, their amount ranges in 200,000 Ugandan shillings. That's around I think $96 or $84 each month. And of course, literally just keep in mind that they might even not be giving you, of course, something like added allowances, maybe transport, maybe food, maybe anything like that. So psychiatric nurses literally make a pretty amount good of money. And of course, for psychiatric nurses, literally, you know that these are nurses that basically deal with mental health, and of course all that particular kind of disorders, bipolar, mental disabilities. And next, people hitting the list right now, like even my lips are dry, I just need to get a little bit of lip balm. The next list hitting the list now, these are midwives. Yes, these are registered nurses, but in midwifery. I explained to you that registered nurses basically are meaning nurses, of course, especially in my country. These are nurses, of course, who have, of course, at a diploma level, from a diploma level to a bachelor's level. Those are nurses that make a pretty good amount of money. Literally is awesome in here in the country, and of course out of the country. So I'm literally just giving you an update. That's why I'm giving it to you in dollars of the whole world. Literally I've been making a video, a very special one, of course, to show you the prices we have in my country, Uganda, how nurses are paid, and of course midwives, and of course all that. But these midwives are making a pretty good amount of money. Like, they almost make more than even what psychiatric nurses make. Like, midwives are very important people in the medical sector, very important people. They're the people who are around, of course, when lives are born, and of course they nurture the first breaths of course, lives, and of course all that. So I feel that this money is it deserves them, for real. Annually they make around $11,000 annually, as per the records that show, of course, from the US Bureau of Statistics, Bureau of what? I'll just be putting it down here, but according to them, that's the total price they are giving them annually. And of course, each hour they are working, it's about $54.48, something like that. So they are pretty making a little bit of good money that supports them, and of course it deserves them. You guys, we come to the conclusion of the video. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and of course remember to give me a like. If you yet subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel, give the video a thumbs up. Make sure that, of course, you like the video, and of course share me out. Yes, share me out. Today I'm asking you guys, share me out. Very important. Share me out. Very, very absolutely important. Just share me out. It will help me in a long run. So literally with that few summary of how 2020 to 2021, of course, the top nursing professions or careers are the most highly paid or highest paid nurses in the world. That's the list I've just given to you. I just think that you will just play your cards very well to know which sector you will be in, that will be able to support your finances very soon after nursing school. Hope to get you next time. Thank you for the amazing support. Thank you for the amazing support so far on the last videos. I've not been getting a lot of views. For example, in these last videos, I don't know literally if you guys don't love the content what I'm creating, but I'm trying to niche down. If I don't know why I'm talking this, but I think it's important. I'm trying to niche down in in dancing, and I think it will bear fruits, of course, with time. So literally, let me catch you on the next time. Remember, please recommend me to another person, of course, who's starting dancing school next year, so that literally can come over here to grow and of course expand his brain about the dancing circles. Bye for now.